Good afternoon, students. Today we will see the high-level languages which we are using in parallel and distributed programming paradigms. That is the Sojal and the Pig Latin high-level languages. So, why we are using these languages in this map reduce framework will be discussed in this session, and we will see some examples, also some representations of these programming high level languages for processing the data, and we will see how far it is means we have seen the diode and the next map reduce and message passing in, that is MPI interface also. How far they are been means comparing with all these things, how they are related to their work, and also they what is the differentiation among the others will be seen in this session. So first we will see what is a Sajal. So the Sajal is both the Sajal and the Pig Latin are the high level languages. So in Sajal, what here is it is built on the top of the Google's MapReduce framework what you are using, and what you are doing is it is a scripting language here. So when dealing with these Sajal or the Pig Latin, we should know what type of the languages they are supporting, how far they have been using. So here the Sajal is a scripting language which has been used for the parallel data processing. So here apart from this parallel data processing, the Sajal is also capable of or can perform the distributed processing of the very large scale data sets, and also it can use entire or the big huge collection of the data to process and also to send or to scale this over the entire internet what we are using. So who developed these Sajalis? It was developed by the Rob Pike. And why we use these Sajal here is we just created, I mean, so they just created or they had just indicated this one to just process the Google's log files thing. So after introducing this one to processing these log files, they got it's a huge response, and it has been successful for this enterprise way. And what they do here is it has been used as a high level language for overall modeling or also for interactive sessions, and it is also included some new approaches also, in which it uses the data which has to been for developing that one. So if you see the Sojal, it is a open source project which has been released in the days only. So here this Sajal will work on the data elements like file summarizing and also keeping the log files, and also he also taking some calculating of the records. Several representations will be taken into account, which are according to these logging of the files here. So this Sajal, what it is doing is it is corresponding to the scripting of these map reduce programs what we are using uh, on different nodes which are running on this processing. So the Sajal representation or the overall flow of this one is been represented in this diagrammatical formation. So here you see a raw data has been taken, and we are performing some filtering here. So the filtering has to be taken into an account, and then emitted data will be given to the aggregator, and the sorted results will be taken into that one. So here we are performing several new things while processing this one. First, the data has to be taken here. So the data what you are taking will has to be partitioned, and the partition one has to be processed locally. Means we are not taking any other representative, because the data will be given to the many nodes there. These many nodes will work on the appropriate, means the given data, respective data there. So this respective data what you are chosen, what it is doing is it is processing, or it's on-site processing, like the processing scripting it will be formed here. The local data what it is filtered, means at this one, at this stage, what it is filter will get the necessary information here. Means only it is we have to take these while data mining. If you are using the data mining processing, what you are doing is you are mining your data, means you are want to get the knowledge of your data. So likewise, what you have to do is nothing but you will have the huge set of the data. In this huge set of the data, what you have to do here, we need to take only the information which is necessary for your processing. Not all the data has to be taken, and you need not to be retrieve the necessary data while processing. So before processing only, it is performing a step in that filtration. So the filtration means first we will partition. How these filtration will be done means one person or the one node won't perform this information's filtration here. So what it has to do is nothing but it has to be given to the multiple people or the multiple nodes. So this multiple nodes filtration will be done, and locally they will process the data. Here the processing, in this step the processing, what it is meaning, what it is meant for is, it needs to take only the necessary data here. Necessary information has to be get from that raw data. So that data, what it is doing is it is filtering that one from the raw data. After the filtering one, what it has to do is nothing but we need to use a aggregator here. So how far, what are the aggregators we can use here is, many are there for processing this aggregator representation. So what you need to perform will be decided by the programming what you wrote here. So if you want to perform the summation, the aggregator type is the summation there. So if you want to take these another means work, or the another multiplication or some type of that, so what it is doing is, it is the aggregator here will be different. So here you need to specify what is the aggregator type you are using there. So that will be given, that will has to be specified there before you are letting to your results side. So by taking this aggregator into that one, you are getting the end results there. So this is the flow of here, that is the overall flow of that one. If you see this example representation, first we need to know what are the variables, or the what are the aggregators, or what are the data elements you are using, like that first we need to know. So in this one, we are using three such aggregators here. Three such aggregators, what it is doing is, it is completely relating to the summation type only. Okay, so that the type of that one here is, we are using the sum tables, which is adding up of that one, means automatically it will add up. So where we are defining an aggregator in this example, if you see the count, total, and sum of squares. So these are the aggregators declarations. We are declaring the variables which are the aggregators here. So how we are getting them as aggregators means, we are using a keyword that is called the table. Table is a keyword which has been used for defining the aggregator type. So the aggregator type means, beside to the table, we are writing the aggregator functionality here. So we are using sum here for both of, that is for three different means declarations. We are using sum only. Sum will be specified, and we are taking the data types also here. We are providing the summation along with the type of that one. So that aggregator type is, here the aggregator type is the integer, which is performing the summation. Here the aggregator type is the float, which is performing the summation also, and this one also float, uh, performing the summation. So that is the three different representations we are using. So here we are mentioning them as the tables. So these are the sum tables which we are using. Why we are using these sum table representations here is, by using that representation, or Sajal programming, that is a language, will automatically add all the values which has been emitted to them. Means whatever the values which are you are given for this count, total, and the sum of the squares will be so means automatically added to that one. So if you consider for each record means for count, total and sum of the squares individually, what it is doing is it is taking initial that is initializations here. Means at the first we need to initialize that one. So first this Sajal will initializes the predefined variable input to the these strings or any type what you have chosen. So for that you have to take one input value into an account. So what is the input value we are taking here is the x is an input. X is an input which is of the float type, and we should define that one as an input. That's why we are specifying, we are specifying that the line what you are taking has to be, that is the input one. If we take, this line, that is x colon float is equals to input, what it is doing is it converts the input, that is the input what you are taking the value. Here the value is only input ma. Here we are specifying the input, and the value what you are taken is the input only. So this converts the given string, that is the input, into the floating point number, and it will be stored in the local variable x. If you see, we are converting these string of that input into these float one. So what is the input here is we will specify them as a that is a string. So here we are converting this one into a floating point number, and what we are doing, we are again storing this converted number into the variable x here. And next last three they are the emit statements. So the emit statements, what you are doing is it will send intermediate values to the aggregators. Aggregators, what are the aggregators we are using here? Count, total and sum of squares. So what it is doing is it is providing emit statements, that is intermediate values to the aggregators. And by using this type of the representations, what it is doing, it will perform the values here. So here how it is going to perform that one. So I am giving the values to that one. So this one is the arrow symbol. This one is arrow symbol, emit, count. So what I am doing, I am emitting the value to the count. What is the value here? 1. And emitting the value to the total variable, sorry, total aggregator. And what is the value of the aggregator here is the x. From where I will get the x value? Here. So by performing this step, then I will get the x value. This value what you are getting will be given to the total variable. And then, so total aggregator. And then next last one is the sum of the squares. So here the sum of the squares means first we need to performing the square. First we need to perform the square, and later what it will do, it will automatically perform the summation, because we are taking this aggregator as a sum type of float. Okay. So first we need to specify what is the how we are going to perform the square here. So there we are performing x star x, that is exponential form, or you can give the x into x, like that you will specify that one. Once all these the programming what here right has been done, what it has to do is nothing but we need to translate these Sajal script into the MapReduce program, and we can run these things into the multiple programs or the multiple processors or the multiple nodes, multiple servers. So any multiple environments will be needed, because we are not giving any values to this one, or we are not performing anything. So what it is giving is we are giving some values into the representation. So what is the input here? Input means simply we are performing means what is the x value. If you are giving one window like that one, please mention the x value. There I got the x value, that is a sum 4. So what is it one? The total is getting the 4 value, and it is been also used in these sum of the squares 4 into 4. So what is the square value? That is 16 will be stored. So here likewise in that representations in the Unix also, what we are getting, we are giving the value notations which is not the input. What we are giving is the not the integer. First it will take the input as a string there. The input what you are taking will be converted into the floating point number and it will be stored there, because we can easily or the we can directly take, won't give the input value. So here we will decide what is the input value dynamically. That's why we are just wrote it as a input, just input, that's all. Means here we need to we need to transfer a input value to that one. So whatever the you are giving from the console or any from the in a dynamic environment, it will be read from there and it will be stored in this X value in the floating point format. Why we are using the floating point format here is the value X is being using by the total and sum of the squares, which are the aggregators of the type float here. So that's why we need to specify these input value to be, that is the string, the byte string what you are given has to be converted into the float and it will be stored in the X. And also we have to take these values to be specified here. So the sum of the squares here, so the sum of the squares how we are going to process here is, I need to perform that is up to 4 values or up to 5 values, like I need to. So what is the input value? 5 means 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, and then next to 5 square, and I have to get all the squares summation as my output. So that's why what it is taking is how many times I have to perform 5 times, and what are the values I need to day, and count means it will add up to when we are reaching that that is total, that is when it is reaching the 5, then it will stop the counting, because the input value of up to which value you need to perform the sum of the squares means I just give only 5. If you are giving only the 2, what is giving 1 square and 2 square will be giving 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 1 plus 4 that is 5, 5 will be the answer. You need to be performed in the that is by 2 ways, that is you need to perform the 1 square and the 2 square there for 2 numbers only. If you are considering the 3 square as an one, next 1 plus 4 plus 9. So likewise what you have to do, we need to consider the processing in such way. So we are taking count into an account, and also we are taking the total number of the values for how many values we are going to perform, and the another one is the emptying the squares here. So likewise what we are doing, we are getting the values to be processed here. This is the scripting language. This will be used by the many map reduce programs or the on multiple servers or any multiple environments you are using. And coming to the Pig Latin, so this is also high level data flow language which has been developed by the Yahoo and also implemented on the top of the Hadoop, which has been used for the Apache Pig project. So here the name what we are using is a Pig Latin. Why we are using this name as a Pig Latin or the Pig Apache Pig or the Apache Pig project like that? So here the reason is very simple. When we search for that one also, just they will use a how we are defining a pig, that is it's an animal which can eat anything, which can who eats or the which can have anything. So it has the capability of eat anything, that is not any restrictions of that one. When we are dealing with this high languages or the any programming languages, the any eating thing is converted or the it will be represented as the any kind of data, any kind of the data. So when we are using Pig Latin like representation, what it is representing is it works on any kind of the data here. So that's why it is being that is named as a Pig Latin here. So here that why we are processing this Pig Latin here is, we are using this Apache Pig as an abstraction over MapReduce, and also it is a tool, or you can specify it as a platform which is used for analyzing large data sets of the data representing, and also we can specify there's the data flows here. Okay, and we why we are also providing here is the Pig Latin, if you see, it has many features when we compared with the others also. So here what are the features it is using here is here the it has a rich set of the operators like it is used for the some operations like join, sort, filter, and it is also providing the ease of programming, because the pig Latin program what you are using is similar to the SQL. So here you are writing the programs which are in the pig script. The programming what you are writing will be called as a pig script, and you will be good at writing the pig script if you know well the SQL. So if you are good at the SQL, what it is doing, it is allowing to write these programs in the pig script in a easy way. Okay, and what are the advantages over this map reduce? So already you have seen the map reducers in the past sessions. Why we need to consider the Apache Pig? So here, when we are dealing with the map reduce, it is a data processing paradigm, because it completely depends upon the data processing only. If you go for the Apache Pig, what it is doing, it is continuously looking after only on the data flow. So it is also a high level language, and if you see, it performs a join operation, and it also take these new beginners also can use this pig Latin language, high level language, without any restrictions or without any hurdles also. So apart from these, why we choose over SQL? Because the pig Latin is a SQL based language like that. So if you compare this pig Latin with this SQL is a declarative language, whereas the pig Latin is specified as a procedural language. So here there is no need to consider the schema as a mandatory here. But in the SQL, schema is a mandatory. So if you see, we can store the data without designing its schema. So there is no need to design anything. We can easily store the processing advanced, and it is also providing the model which is the nested relational one. But when compared with the SQL, that is a flat relational only. So it is also providing the query optimization and also the pipelining representation. It also stores the data and declares the execution plans, and any many representations are used when uh, means when we are compared with this one. So if you see this type of the representations in that is the pig Latin is using scripting type one, and also it is having that is when you are using that Apache Pig, the compiler, that is a parser, optimizers, and the compiling all being used in that one over the map reduce. So here this is an abstraction, means the work which has been done before that map reduce will be take care of these Apache Pig, which is used in the Hadoop environment. When we compare with this one, when we compare with this remaining one, the Sojal is a Google one, and then Dryad is the Microsoft representation. So here, how it is differing from the others. So the data model what you are using here is the buffer or the basic one, but here is partitioning the files, because in the previous example also, we in the previous session also we have seen the Dryad is using some partitioning type representations, and taking these things to be done here. Histogram represent means you have been seen a lines of the wisdom is an example, in that you have seen that several commands has been used for processing. So in pig Latin, what we are doing is we are taking the atom tuple representation and the bag representation and the mapping. Bag representation means you are taking the data set into an account. Tuple means only the one element, that is if you are taking elements into an account, the tuple will be considered here. And what type of the typing we are using, that is it's taking the static data, Brad, and then Exagel is taking the static data, and the pig Latin is taking the dynamic typing representations here. The category here is as I said, it is using the compiler representations here, that is the parsers and optimizers, and the some shells also being used for processing. And coming to this shell, it is the interpreted one. what is the style of your programming is, it is imperative. Likewise, I said pig Latin is a procedural one because it is has to be taken the some steps to be performed here. What are the execution models here is, we need to record the operations and we have to specify the aggregations here. So in the previous example you have seen the aggregations has to be fixed and we need to perform that one. So here we need to perform the sequence of the operations which has been specified there. Here we need to take the DAX into an account. If you remember the previous examples, we are taking the dynamic acyclic graphs into an account. We are representing the vertices there. So the vertices has been specified as the nodes, and then next the edges what you are taking into an account will be specified as the communication between the things what you are using. So what are the runtimes if you are providing is the, it is using the Google's MapReduce, which has been provided, which has been have the several examples you have seen, and here it is using the Hadoop pig, that is Apache's pig represent, and it is using the DRAD. So these are the several representations which has been differing from that one. So what are the data types? Means here it is mentioned it has been using data models here. So what are the data types you are using here is the atom. So it is a one value representation, and the tuple means it is taken as a field, sequence of the fields has been considered, and the bag is considered the collection of the tuples here. So the collection of the tuples has to be specified, and the mapping here is the, we need to consider the collection of the tuples, so the collection of the bags, and we are maintaining the key here. So here we are taking several examples, clouds and the grids. So I am taking the another example, that is I am collecting some tuples here, clouds and grids as a one. Clouds are there, we are taking the IAS and the PAS into an account, that one. So and another example here is the Microsoft. So here we are taking the Azure and Windows. So though both belongs to the Microsoft only, we are creating a new key to that one. So that elements what you are, that the bag elements what you are, bag tuples what you are using there, or the data items. When coming to the next one, Red Hat, which is pointing to the Linux there. And likewise we are also having some commands to process. So we are likewise we are using in Linux or like that, we are using some command representations, or the SQL also it is taking the commands, SQL commands also there. So here we are having the operators or the commands here is the, to read the data we are using load, to write the data we are using store, and to apply an expression for each record, and then output of one or more records we are using for each generate. If you see all these things what you are using, or some of them has been used in SQL there, and some of them are the new to that, new to you. So here we are providing a new representation. Group is there, group by or you are using, here you are using a co-group. So here what it is doing is, it is collecting the records here which is having the same key, and also we can specify them as a records specification here. And also we are providing a join also is there. Join is also used in SQL also, splitting, and then next union, order by, and there is a distinct is also there. Some of the new terms are the stream, dump, limit, and then next cross. All these things are there. So for performing the cross product, we are using the cross. For writing the output to the std out, we are using the dump. For limiting the number of the records, we are using limit. For to sending the all these records to a user provided by binary, what we are doing is we are using the stream, that is a stream bits we are consider. So these are the operators we are using. There are some examples there to process these, means how we are using these commands here. The first example is to read the data. So here this thing is like only the SQL, but some difference is there. So here there are, the first one what we are seeing is reading the data with the commands here. So here the command is queries, which is equals to load. We are specifying a input file, which is the file with data.txt. We are using a representation called myUDF, and we are representing a formation that is a as user ID, query string, and timestamp. So we are using three different representations here. How it is going to access, or how it is going to execute here is this command, the load command what you are using will return these all these things into a back queries there. So here what are the queries we are using, what are the things we are using here is the my UDF is a new one. So here what it is doing is it is using user defined function. My UDF means it is using user defined function here. And as you know that as is a schema which has been used for the tuples for processing that one, and to gather the data from that one, what it is doing here is it is using expanded queries in which it is specifying for each query generate the user ID and expand the user defined function on that query string. So here how it is going to perform is it is mapping the each tuple in the queries because it is being determined by the user defined function there. And what it is doing is it is the user defined function, what it is, we are expanding our query that is using user defined function, and there we are using the for each which runs over all the tuples in that pack. That is the number of tuples what you are using data items will be run on that one. And also it is allowing to access that one. So if you are having another representation, that is a filtering. Filtering is there. The filter is used for removing the tuple there. So to remove the tuple or the delete the tuple in SQL, we will use another representation. So here we are using an alternative way. What it is, we have to filter the names, the all the IDs which are equivalent to Alice. And if you found that one, what you have to do is nothing but we need to remove all the tuples there. So real queries is the thing, means what is the data element or item what you are using here. The filter is the command. So the filter is querying by, what it is doing is if the user ID is not equals to Alice here. So what it is doing, if it is not equivalent to Alice, what it is doing is it is not removing it one. If it is equal to Alice, what it is doing is it is simply removing this to the representation what you are processing. So there is another command which is equivalent to the SQL join only, which is the co-group. So here what it is doing is it is grouping all the results by what you are taking here is the query string and also the revenue by query string. So it is grouping the results and revenue here. How we are going to process here is just grouping the data which is equivalent to the co-group, and we are what we are grouping here, we are grouping the results and we are grouping the revenue by using the query strings. So if you see this what you are doing here is it is not performing any representations into that. So the what will be the output here is the, it will give the three field representations here. The first field will be the query string. The second that is the field will be the tuples which are from the results, and the third will be the tuples which are from the, means the common elements which are used for the revenue. So all these things will be considered here. So these are the several examples what you are chosen for processing and also what you are considering network. So there are the applications also which you are processing. Well, that one we have been classified. We have been classified the applications while using the parallel and the distributed systems. Which has been taken into the 6 categories here. If you see the category 1, the category 1 is corresponding to the regular problems. So the category 1 which is called as a synchronous, which has been taken into the into an account that the regular problems. Whereas if you see the category 2, it includes the irregular cases like partial differentiation equation or the particle dynamics. Means in loosely synchronous things has to be considered here. So if you see what are the machines we are using here is for the category 1, we are using the single instruction of the multiple data, and then here we are using the MIMD along with the massive parallelism, massive parallel programming has to be considered here. So that's why we are using MPP, that is massively parallel processors are used for the second category. So here what you are doing in this second category here is we need to compute that information while communicating. So that's why what it is doing is compute and the communicate phases has to be specified, has to be taken into an account when these computations are being processed, because all these works are being taken into an account by multiple nodes here. If you are not communicating or if you are not synchronous with the others, then the data will be lost here. And coming to the third category, which consists of the asynchronous here. So what it is here is it is asynchronously interacting with the objects, and also considers the uh, public view, that is a people's view, when dealing with these parallel programming. I'd also describe the that is concurrent execution of the threads, and also it is taking event driven applications into an account also. And the shared memory has to be placed, means some synchronization techniques which are the dynamic to perform these dynamic synchronization. What it is taking is it is considering this one. What is the type of the architecture it is supporting is, as I said, it is taking shared memory into an account. Coming to the category 4, it is if you say that is simply depends upon the algorithms. So algorithmically it works there. So what it is doing is it is working, simply it is working with the disconnected parallel components what you are using here. If we are analyzing the data, what you are doing is it needs to consider uh, what are the things we need to add it to that class, or to perform to increase the performance between these nodes. What the things has to be performed to increase the parallel computing, likewise it will uh, taking into one. So here what are the things we need to consider for this type of the architecture is we are considering the clouds apart from the grids here. And coming to the fifth category, so here it is the quartz grained linkage of these atomic problems. So this area what you are using will be given importance to the that is meta problem, that is workflow. What you are taking, the workflow will be taken into an account. One component problem will be taken, and what are the problems which are evolved, that one, that is a meta problems will be there. Meta problems will means one problem which will describe about the another components problems, and also another like that. Likewise in the meta data what it is doing, it is been dealing with the meta problems here. So for that we are using grids or the clouds which are of the clusters here to take these architecture to achieve these meta problem environment. And coming to the last one, that is the sixth one. If you see the category 6, it is using iterative one. So iterative MapReduce plus plus here is it is executing in a iterative way, indeed which we call it as a twister. So in the previous class we said iterative one we are being specified as a twister. So here parallel mapping has to be done along with the parallel reducing. So we are not even concentrating on the map only, or we are not even concentrating on the reduce only. What it is doing is we are just taking parallel mapping and parallel reducing into an account. There are several examples or the several representations or there for these architecture. We are using master worker or map reduce or simply map reduce, or we are using twister. Why we are using the master worker here is we are creating parallel programs, copies of the programs has been used now. So we are using the simply map reduce, or we are concentrating on the map only or reduce only, or we are taking the that is what we call twister into an account here. So if we see how these map reduce has been used, or the map only, or the classic map reduce, iterative map reduce, or the loosely synchronous, if you see these are the representations which we are using. This is a comparison which has been clearly made for map only, or what the classic map reduce will do, iterations will be do, and classical, that is synchronous, means message passing interface. So what we are is, if you see first one, map only, what it is doing is it will convert the document here. The document here is the PDF, is a example document. It has been converted into the HTML, that is a markup language format. And what it is using here is, it is using some brute force searches in cryptography to find the elements and to map with that one. And it is completely depends upon the parametric way. And we are using here this one in Polar Grid MATLAB data analysis in this one. So the map only concept will be used in that representation. And coming to the classic map reduce, we are mapping and reducing. We are not performing iteratively. We are just mapping and reducing that one. So here, this type of the representations are being specified as the histograms, which is the high energy physics histograms. It is taking the search process to be distributed way, and the sorting process will be on a distributed way only. We need to retrieve the information to map that one, and we need to calculate the distances between these pairs, and we need to form we means if it is not the word count or any represent any examples like that, we need to calculate the pairwise distances for these sequences, and we need to elaborate these searching, and we need to take these steps before sorting and grouping. After sorting and grouping, we are reducing that one. After reducing, you will get the output there. So this has been used in the BLAST. And coming to the iterative map reduce, this iterative map reduce being called as a twister also. Here we need to perform the mapping and then reducing continuous manner, because we need to take these things, the data flow into an account, or also the control flow into an account. So here we are using uh, algorithms into an account here, and also we are providing linear algebra. What are the applications we are using here is the k-means. In previous example we have seen, sorry, in the previous session we have seen k-means example. There means you need to sort out these cluster at once, and after that we need to move on to the next one. So for that, what you have to do is nothing but see continuously you need to gather the nodes of that cluster, and we need to take the distance of that Euclidean distance into an account, and we need to gather all these things to that new cluster centroids what you are taking. So you are creating, first initially you don't know the centroids of your clusters there. Initially you are creating the many centroids there, and gradually what you are doing, we are decreasing the centroids, and we are taking the how many clusters. If it is 3 clusters, we are performing only, we are getting only the 3 centroids into it. So what you have to do is nothing but gradually we need to reduce that one, and we need to map that one. So mapping and reducing has to be performed on that cluster continuously, means iteratively. So for that one, we are using the k-means, and also annealing, clustering, and multi-dimensional scaling, clustering. All these things are the several applications which are supporting this iterative map reduce or the twister. And coming to the loosely synchronous, here we are using a technique called the message passing interface. This MPI, what this MPI is doing here is, there is no need to transfer all the input files here, because the remaining 3 what you are using all works on the input files here. So there is no need to transfer the input files, or what you have to do is nothing but we need to take these files need not to be maintained, or the programs need not to be maintained on the single representation. We need to copy these files or these things over the internet or doing specified. So how it is going to do here is we are maintaining some communication interfaces, or the communications between the nodes what you are using. What are the nodes they are being connected? They have to be means communicate with each other uh, continuously to solve any other to map or the to reduce or any process what you're doing. So by using such representations, we are solving some differential equations, and also we are working with the partial dynamics, and also we are taking the short range ranges into the short range forces into an account. So these are the elements, or these are the comparison factors which has been used for processing. So these are the programming paradigms what we are using in parallel and distributed environment. So we have been seen MapReduce, and then iterative MapReduce, which indeed called as a twister, and we have also seen the another representation MPI, which has been used other than for the classic MapReduce. And also we are now we are may have seen that DIAD, which is the Microsoft based one. We need to what it is saying is we need to consider, or we need to process these things has to as a acyclic graph, and we need to consider all these things into a graph only, and we need to maintain a name server, and also a another daemon programs will be there. These daemon programs will look after the programs what they are executing, and what are the resources they need for execution. All these things will be considered in that one. And later on in today's session, we have seen the high level languages which are being used in this parallel and distributed programming paradigms only. High level, what are the high level languages here? The Sawjal. Sawjal is the scripting language, whereas a Pig Latin is considered as a high level language, which is equivalent to, which is has the equivalent working of the SQL, and also it is being used for the scripting. It is writing the program in the Pig scripts. It is having several commands to process, and you are writing some query language only also for processing. Likewise in the SQL, it is also providing some commands also for processing the data. If you are aware of these SQL commands or the SQL writing query language, then it will be easy for you for processing. Why we are choosing Pig Latin here is we have such advantages over MapReduce, and also the SQL presentation, because it is a procedural one. There is no need of the schema. There is no need to maintain all these things, right? Like the representations will be there. You are free to use any kind of the data for processing on these Apache Pig. So that's about the programming paradigms we are having. Tomorrow we will see the programming paradigms only, the programming on Google App Engine, and also the program means in the previous sessions or the previous units we have seen the architectures of the Google App Engine and AWS. There are the several things has been covered in the previous units. So here we will see the representations, means what we are using, how these what are the programmings we are using in Google GAE, that is a Google App Engine, and also what is the programming models, what is the file system it is using, and how it is going to process, and also the Amazon Web Service, and what are the software environments we are using. Because in the previous units we have covered Eucalyptus, Nimbus, Open Nebula, and then Azure programming environments, EC2, all these things been covered. So in this unit, we will know only the programming environments and the models what we are using, means the structures, what it is using for processing and how it is processing, like that we will know about all these things. That's it for today's class. Thank you, Ma.